Hey, I'm Spencer.
And I'm Sofia.
And today we're here at Punta Mona Center in Costa Rica on the Caribbean coast, and we're going to be doing a video for you guys, which is a farm-to-table dinner, where we're going to take you around the farm and show you how we harvest all the food from our land to create a meal that's all farm fresh right here at Punta Mona. So what we're going to make tonight is a pretty simple meal, mac and cheese and some farm fresh greens, but with a little twist on the mac and cheese. You want to tell them what's in the mac and cheese, Sofia?
Yeah, so the macaroni of the mac and cheese is actually going to be made out of breadfruit, and the cheese sauce is going to be Ackee based, and we're going to put some Yuca in there to give it a cheesy stretch. We're going to get some Noni to give it the actual cheesy flavor. We'll also use other things that we make here, like we're going to use some piña vinegar, some farm herbs in there, some farm black peppercorns, and then we're going to top it with some shredded coconut to give it a crisp, and hopefully we're going to harvest some mushrooms and get also a mushroom flavor on the top.
And for the greens, we're gonna cook up some chaya and malanga leaves. We're gonna get a lot of farm fresh peppers and garlic vine, which is a vine we grow here that has a garlicky taste to it. We can throw those in the greens, extra deliciousness. So now we're gonna take you around the farm, we're gonna show you the harvest, and we hope you enjoy. So here we are at our first stop. We're gonna harvest some yuca right here. Yuca is an incredible root vegetable that provides a kind of potato-like root that we like eating here, and it self-propagates really easily, so you can cut the main stem of it and stick it in the ground and it'll grow. So we grow it all over the place. And here to my left we have some matured yuccas that are ready to be harvested.
And because of its super starchiness, it's gonna make our cheese sauce in our mac and cheese really stretchy.
Okay, so this is the yucca we're going to be taking out. As you can see, it started to fall over because it's grown so tall. So I'm just going to demonstrate how we pull it out now and harvest the root. So this is what we're after. These ones aren't the biggest, but as you can see, there's 4 or 5 here that we can use for the mac and cheese, and that's probably going to be enough for what we need. So now, from what we're not going to use of the stem of the yucca plant, we can just replant. So this long thing, we can just chop into several pieces, and when we need or want some more yucca to plant, we can just stick these in the ground and they'll grow into full new plants with more roots for us to eat.
So for the cheese sauce, to give it a nice tang, we're going to need piña vinegar. So whilst we're by the lab, we might as well go in and ask Charlotte how she makes it and what other vinegars we do have.
Hi! So to make pineapple vinegar, it's really easy. You get the pineapple shreds and cuttings that you don't want to use for cooking, and you just place them in a bucket. You add some water and a bit of sugar. This is one I did a few days ago. So this is what it's looking like right now. As you see, it's like forming at the top, and then you have water that is under. You want to give it a good stir every day for the beginning of the process. Have some nice pineapple pieces and banana in there. After maybe like a week, you can strain it, and you're gonna end up with this beautiful kind of mixture, and you want to let it sit for another 3 to 4 weeks, and then you can bottle it and continue to have aging.
Let's take one of these bottles. The next ingredient we're going to need for the cheese is ackee, which is from this tree we're standing under right now. It's a really crazy fruit. It's completely toxic when they're unopened, so we have to wait for them to open and then we can harvest them. And then when cooked, they have this really buttery taste. So that's why we're using it in the cheese, because it gives it a creaminess, and it's super delicious.
Okay, so like Sofia said, we gotta find one that's already opened or else they're toxic. So I see one right above me, and I'm gonna use this harvest tool to snag it out of the tree and show you guys what it looks like up close. So this is what it looks like. Yeah, this is the part that we eat. It's got a very interesting flavor. I always describe it as somewhere between a cashew and a mushroom. It's brain food. As you can see, it kind of actually looks like a brain coming out of the pod. It's a really, really delicious addition to any meal.
So this is a noni tree, where, as I mentioned earlier, this is what's going to give the cheesy flavor in the cheese. On its own, people have said that it's pretty gross and that it tastes like blue cheese that's gone off. But what we do is we actually walk along the beach, we collect the ones which have already fallen and they've already started to ferment. We put it in a jar and we make a noni ferment. We're going to be using the fermented noni in our cheese. But I just wanted to show you the tree so you could just see what a funny fruit it is.
Now we're gonna head over to the breadfruit for the mac and cheese filling.
So now we're gonna go get some Cuban oregano and some garlic vine. With garlic vine, you wanna be getting the young leaves because they're a lot more tender. We'll probably get about 10 leaves of this. Now we're gonna get some Cuban oregano. This is one of my all-time favorite herbs here.
Okay, now we're gonna grab some peppers for the greens. So we're looking for the ones that are anywhere from orange to red. And these are all sweet chilies. We'll get some other ones that we have around the farm called sweet Panamanians, which are habanero relatives. They're a little bit more squash and round. We're gonna hopefully fill up this bowl with peppers and have ourselves a dish. So here we are at the coconut station. This is a bin we constructed in which we hold all the coconuts that we find on and around the beach that fall from all the coconut trees we have around the property. So we bring them here and then we de-husk them. We have several of the husks on the ground here. We'll de-husk them and then we'll bring them into the kitchen right there and use them in our meals. Okay, so here we are with some of our chaya, and I'm just gonna chop down the top half of it because we have a lot of it and it'll grow back well when I just chop it right at the base of this stalk. So we're gonna get that and we're gonna bring that back to the kitchen and take all the leaves off of it and use it for our dinner. So here we are at a spot in our farm that has a lot of malanga planted. So I'm gonna go around this little patch of malanga and gather some leaves to cook with our chaya leaves and eat for dinner. So we don't want to take too many leaves from a single plant. If you leave just one leaf, the plant will actually die. So we're just taking a couple leaves from each of these plants around us.
So we're back in the kitchen with everything we need. Now we're gonna lay it all out and start preparing our meal.
So now we're gonna get cooking the delicious meal and we're gonna take you through the steps of everything. Here we go. So Frankie's in the kitchen. What are you doing, Frankie?
You know, the Brits like to invade and we like to conquer, so
That's what he's doing.
I've conquered the star fruit. As you can see, I'm going through each process, chopping the star fruit. This was harvested, the star fruit was trimmed back, we pulled this off. Boom, boom, what do we do with it? Instead of throwing it away, making a waste of it, you know, permaculture, reuse it and repurpose this into a juice instead of the fruit, obviously. As it is, it's gonna rot. So we make a nice little fresh juice. Some sweet oranges here, and we've got some frozen guanabana. I'm gonna mix it up, and then you have a nice refreshing beverage for the evening. What a beautiful surprise for everyone.
So I'm gonna cut the breadfruit up into little macaroni-sized pieces, and then we're gonna fry it so that it becomes like a macaroni. It's a pretty big breadfruit, so you wanna just first start by like cutting it in half, and then you can get all the way through to the middle. So I'm just cutting these into the right size pieces and then soaking them in salted water for a little bit and then frying them on the plancha to make them into the crispy macaroni pieces as the filling. And again, this is going to be the macaroni pieces, so I just want them to go kind of crispy so then when I mix it in with the sauce they don't absorb too much. So we've just chopped up the yuca and we put it in here to boil, and when it's all the way boiled, that will be blended up into the cheese sauce.
Feeding the snackers. guys like this come around while we're cooking. So now we're gonna be making the shreds of the coconut for the top of the mac and cheese. So I'm gonna open it with this baton, give it a few smacks, save the water, and then I'm gonna put it on this little grinder we have here to get the meat out nicely into shreds.
As you can see, we are doing farm to table cooking.
Sometimes you get a cricket. So we decided we're gonna add one more coconut to the greens and we're gonna make Chaya con Coco.
So here I'm just crisping up the topping for the mac and cheese. And then over here is just the onions cooking ready for the sauce.
Okay, add a little bit of black pepper from the farm. Oh, our fellow community member Dave harvested a bunch of this over the past few days and processed it, leaving it out to dry in the sun, and then crushing it up into powder for us. Okay, so now we're gonna start making the cheesy sauce with the yuca base. So first I'm gonna blend the yuca and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients for maximum deliciousness. Did some recon from the lab. I got the pineapple vinegar that we talked about earlier and the fermented noni, both of which are gonna go into the cheese sauce. So as you can see, once the yuca comes out of the blender, it takes on the appearance and texture of like melted cheddar cheese, but it doesn't taste like it. So that's why we're adding in all this ackee and yummy delicious stuff along with the fermented noni and pineapple vinegar, and we're gonna make it taste like it as well. Vegan cheese.
So now that the sauce is done, we're gonna add it to the macaronis. And now for the toppings, or breadcrumbs if you will. And now we're going to let it bake under the plancha.